I call upon Raila Amolo Odinga to extinguish the fire in the orange. Yeah, I know a lot of people will mistake me by thinking that the fire I mean is the fire that I'm saying that ODM appears to be speaking from two different directions. You'll be excused if you formed an opinion that I'm for the idea that ODM should speak with one voice. No, it has nothing to do with that. Actually, from its formation, from the time ODM was formed, it has never been democratic, not even a single time. It has been very violent. I think violence is the qualification. The more violent one has been, the more he or she is accepted in ODM. If the history of Kenya is to be recorded today, the most violent political party in Kenya's history by far is ODM. And leave alone violence, ODM has never been a democratic party, or it has never been a democratic movement, even once. What it is going through now is the nearest that ODM can be to democracy. It is the nearest it can ever be to democracy. Otherwise, it has never been democratic. ODM has been violent. ODM has been undemocratic and so on. Although I am somebody who believes in free speech, but all indications are that as much as ODM appears to be divided, it is not divided. What has happened in ODM is the double speak, and that thing Raila has been having it for as long as ODM has been having. Now he has left it to his people. He has left it to ODM now to double speak. Why does he and now ODM double speak? It is usually that Raila's history has been he chases with the hare. No, he chases with the hounds and runs with the hare. Right now, what is happening right now, because we will go into the history, what is happening right now is that ODM itself has set itself into two sides, so that 2027, whichever side they will decide, they can easily side with that one. For example, just like Southern Sudan, we have SPLA and we have SPLA-IO. SPLA-IO or SPLM-IO means South Sudan Sudanese People's Liberation Movement in opposition. Now, what we are having now is ODM and the ODM-IO. ODM in the opposition. Both sides are coming out strong, so that when 2027 reaches and a decision is made for ODM to abandon Ruto, then the ODM in government will just die a natural death, and it will melt and join the ODM in the opposition. On the other side, if Raila and ODM decides to support Ruto in 2027, then ODM in the opposition will melt and join the ODM IG, ODM in government. Now we have two ODMs. Mark you, in the future you'll hear these things, and I'll be the first person to say that we have two ODMs. We have ODM IO and ODM IG. ODM IO is ODM on opposition, and IG is ODM in government. I've explained what will happen there. But then, should it be true that ODM is freely exchanging divergence views, then that one should be encouraged. It should be encouraged because, as they say, there is the saying that when two people agree all the time, then one is doing the thinking and the other one is doing the doing. If you are two people and always you're always agreeing, if someone does a research, he or she will find that decisions are made by one person and the other one just follows. So, I'm not trying to encourage a madhouse where even the slightest thing of we want to buy a bulb, and where should we buy the bulb? They start arguing and whatever. But total disagreement and total agreement are equally bad. So let us hope that ODM has for the first time been given an opportunity to express freely what each and every member feels. But I've got a hunch that the only person who is the only person who is sincerely talking his mind in the ODM today is Lawrence Sifuna. All others have been said, as I've just said, that they have been said in such a situation that, in such a circumstance that should it be good for them to go left or right, they all go that way. Now let us look at the history of ODM. ODM has always been violent. The violence is its democracy, and anybody getting any position in ODM has never had it through free and fair elections. We will start with where did the idea of ODM start? The idea of ODM started in the year 2005 during the Orange and Banana constitutional review. Kivutu and his commission sat down and said that in any general election or any election, different candidates have different signs. Different candidates have different symbols, election symbols, and he felt that since this one was not for candidates or political parties, he felt that, or the commission, then ECK, felt that they should start two symbols which were very much similar to the message. Now, the message was simple. Do you agree with the constitution, the 2005 constitution, or not? If you agreed, then you place the a tick. And what was a tick? You see, a banana is shaped like a tick. And if you did not agree with it, then you had to have uh, a zero showing that you don't agree with it. Then someone may ask, why was it that they decided to have fruits and nothing else? Well, I'm not talking on their behalf, and I was not there when they started, but all I can say is that they had to have two distinctive and easily understandable signs. Maybe they even had several, but then they decided on this one. So it was just purely that. But when the orange people are going around Kenya, those who are against the constitution, there's a time they went to Kakamega. There's a time they went to Kakamega, and it is Balala. Actually, the orange orange democratic movement came from Balala. Balala, for those who are still young, we used to have a politician in Mombasa. He started off as a mayor and later on became a very powerful politician. He was only dethroned by Joho. Now, Balala, when they were campaigning against the constitution, they reached in Kakamega. I don't know why he chose Kakamega. Balala is from Coast, but he was educated at Kakamega High School. So when he was at Kakamega High School, not Kakamega High School, when he was in Kakamega town, he made a statement. He said that this constitution we are going to we are going to reject it, and after rejecting it, we are going to start a political party that we are going to call Orange Democratic Movement, ODM. It is Balala who mentioned that thing, and he mentioned it in Kakamega town. So there's a politician called Imanyara, not a politician, a lawyer. There's a lawyer called Imanyara who rushed to the registrar of society. By then, political parties were registered with the registrar of societies. He went there and registered a political party called Orange Democratic Movement, ODM. And people still went round, campaigning either for the constitution, that is banana, or against the constitution, orange. And the orange won the thing. So those people who were in the orange movement, there were many. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta was there. William Ruto was there, and some Raila was there. But the overall leader of the orange movement was Raila. And so after that, the constitution was rejected. Kanu, there was an argument as to whether Orange ODM should be an umbrella body where political parties join, or it would be a political party where members would join, or would be a movement where political parties would join as corporate members. A person like Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, who was the head of KANU, wanted it to be a corporate entity, so that other political parties join. But other members like Raila wanted it to be both. Yeah, there were three groups. There are those who wanted it to be purely corporate, like Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and there are those who wanted it to be individual, as it is today. And then there are those like Raila who wanted both, so that if you had to choose, do you want to join it as an individual or as a political party corporate member? As they were saying that, they went to the Register of Society to register that political party. When they went to register that political party, they found that Imanyara had registered that. And Kenya was very funny. I've even uploaded a video on SAFARICOM, where they were suspecting that Vodacom would come to Kenya, and somebody rushed very fast to register Vodacom Kenya Limited. That is why SAFARICOM is not called Vodacom, like our neighbors. So somebody, Imanyara, a politician, a lawyer, rushed to do that. And the intention was very easy. The intention was when these people wanted this party, they have to buy it from him. Supposing you used 1 million shillings to register such a party, and you are paid 20 million. You see, that is a very clean money. That is how some clever Kenyans used to do. So when these politicians came and the lawyer called Imanyara refused to hand over the party, they went back to the Register of Society and registered another party, which they called Orange Democratic Movement Kenya, Kenya, which they were trying to copy or ape what had happened with Ford. When we had Ford Asili and Ford Kenya. We even had others which came later, Kina Ford people and whatever. So they went and formed ODM Kenya, or Orange Democratic Movement Kenya. When they started the Orange Democratic Movement Kenya, it was just I think by luck, because I've never thought of like Kalonzo Musyoka being sly. So most of the officials there, Kina Maanzo, were registered as the leaders of ODM Kenya. Imanyara was left to stay with his ODM. Now Imanyara's ODM had an orange, and then ODM Kenya had an orange and a half. So they were calling themselves Chungwa Plus. Chungwa Plus, that is an orange and just more than an orange. That is how they came up with the chungwa, an orange and a half. So they started calling themselves ODM Kenya. They started going around, and that is how Raila is very good at it. When they were going around, it was obvious that ODM Kenya, Orange Democratic Movement Kenya, they were just talking the way they are talking today, where they are saying, like Gachagua said yesterday, that they are going to sit down, and if it is Gachagua whom they agree, so be it. If it is Matiang'i, so be it. If it is, they started off that way. But Raila and his people, and that is where I've started talking of violence, starting in ODM. Raila and his people when they went to these political rallies, they would use political rallies to shout down people perceived to be people front runners for heading ODM Kenya. And when they started that, they continued. There was an incident in Mombasa. Actually, they had started that, and they were also trying to say that ODM Kenya should have elections. They should have elections to have their people, and for election officials to be there. The plan was whenever they have a public meeting, a public rally, a person who would be perceived to be against Raila would be shouted down upon. So those of you who are old enough can remember things got bad in Mombasa. Things got bad in Mombasa. They were holding a rally in Mombasa. I think it is Tononoka. When they were holding a rally in Tononoka, when it came to the turn of Kalonzo Musyoka to talk, he was being booed. He was being booed so that it is seen that he's not popular. And when Raila is there, so these people were now given two instructions. One, boo a person like Kalonzo Musyoka, and a person like Raila to be cheered. That thing is what led to the split in those people. And then the Raila camp were now calling for the Raila company. The Raila company was now calling for national elections for ODM Kenya. But then Maanzo and other people, pro Mutula Kilonzo people who were pro Mutula Kilonzo people who were against Raila, refused to call for an election and stuck they stuck with the license and so on of ODM Kenya. Then suddenly, out of the blues, Imanyara was seen in the handing over the certificate to Raila, the orange. So those who were supporting Raila moved out of ODM Kenya and went to the ODM, Orange Democratic Party. That is how they split. Now let us talk about ODM Kenya shortly, because its story is short. ODM Kenya, whenever they had a meeting, there was Mutula Kilonzo, the late Mutula Kilonzo. Can we call him Mutula Kilonzo Senior? Whenever he used to act as the master of ceremony. So he would tell people to wave from one direction to another, like a wiper. So you'd say, when somebody comes, they say, wave, and then they say, wave kama wiper. And you see Mutula Kilonzo Senior, I've added the name Senior, used to talk it with a Kikamba accent. So he would say wifer instead of wiper, and people would laugh at that. And then later on, ODM Kenya saw that the need of being confused with the ODM, then they changed it to Wiper Democratic Party. The Wiper Democratic Movement. Is it a movement or party? Kenya. That is the short story about Wiper. It is still on, but uneventful. Let us now go to ODM. ODM became so violent. I don't think I can remember any national election that has been held without violence. Whenever the violence is another name for ODM, and that is why in this recording I've requested my elder brother Raila Omolo Odinga to extinguish that fire, not the fire of having more than one thoughts in the ODM, no, not that fire, but the fire of violence. ODM has been associated with violence. Let the death of Charles Ong'ondo Were be the final word of where ODM will be associated with violence. If you look at the way Babu Owino, when he was going to, when he highlighted from, you just go to YouTube and type Babu Owino arriving at Ong'ondo's funeral. You can see the kind of violence, the kind of how he moved from his vehicle up to the dais. That is how ODM has always been, and that is the fire that I'm requesting Raila to extinguish. The nearest that ODM has ever had, what do you call the nearest that ODM has ever had as a national election was the Kasarani. And when and you see, it is really a shame for a person of Raila who has always been complaining that the elections are rigged. When it comes to his jurisdiction, there is a lot of rigging. If you remember Men in Black, it was obvious that the group Kina Mwaura, Isaac Mwaura, the group that Raila was not comfortable with, was carrying out the day, and then the Men in Black came in. Now let us pause a bit and talk about Men in Black. A person like Raila is very important to Kenya. His security is very important. Anything happening to Raila now, where by the just imagine uh, an MP, a newly elected in Kalenjin MP in Eldoret, that was shot by a Kisii police officer, and by the time the truth came, a lot of damage had already been done in those parts of Kenya, and that was just a very small MP who was Kalenjin by tribe and who was in the ODM. Anything happening to Raila, uh, it would really have a much repercussion to the stability of this country. But when these people started kicking out the ballot boxes a few meters from Raila, me as an expert in VIP protection shows that the next time maybe something may a genuine threat may happen to him. A genuine threat may happen to him. People may think that these are the hooligans of ODM, which we are mostly used to daily. Uh, there's also a video whereby Raila was on a rooftop with the Oparanya, and somebody threw was it a vest or a coat or anything? No, was it a sweater or a coat or anything, which was darkish in night? Those things are very dangerous because such a thing may be laced with poison, and if Raila touches or acid, it may do a lot of damage. Those are about 2 years ago when when ODM and other people were demonstrating against the Ruto government, Ruto Rigathi government. That thing happened, and then the other time, just the other week, Ruto was somebody threw a shoe to Ruto at Kehanja. Now people are saying that that fellow should be called Shuja. Shuja. I hope you get what I'm saying. So the such things, the violence and whatever, should be extended not just to. It should not be to ODM. Should just leave it and be the part of its past. Let ODM be the most peaceful party in the country. Moving on that, and also other parties, whereby just like you can see two sides of ODM, although we all believe that it is a plan, it's a play scripted, but if it is true that we have reached a stage where members of ODM can differ, can differ, can have alternating thoughts without any risk of repercussion. I think that one should be encouraged, and that one should happen now on. One thing, the thing that I keep on insisting is that Raila should do something about violence in the party. Violence should be something of the past.